This is the James Reed Memorial Wildlife Conservation Area, just north of Greenwood, Missouri. So this is obviously a conservation area. Little limitations on where I can go. We can kayak in some of these lakes, but some of them are off limits. But the accessibility to a vehicle in some of these locations is, well, let's say it's pretty good. We are currently, within probably a half an hour drive from Donnie's childhood home. So the theory being here is people, when they decide to do something like we believe Donnie did, self-harm, go to familiar places. So this is got a lot of water here. It's accessible, and it's not too far from his home. The closest body of water to Donnie's childhood home is actually Longview Lake, which I believe has already been searched. One other thing about lakes like Lake of the Ozark, Longview Lake, Truman, any of them, they're so heavily traveled. They're scanned a lot. So when things go in the water, they get found a little easier. This is one of the locations where not a lot of boats out here, no motorized boats at all, and haven't had motorized boats out here for years. So somebody could park the car out here at the bottom of this lake, and nobody's got the equipment generally to find it. Easy to be missed. So we're going to jump in this lake. There's numerous lakes here. There's 4 different ones that we're allowed to get into. So I'm going to quit talking and get back to work. So here we go. Out here on the water, going through. I'm only hitting, the deepest spot that I've hit is 8 foot. And just for reference here, and you see right there on the screen, 8 foot deep. And pretty smooth bottom, covered in muck. See some limbs every once in a while. And I'm going right along the earthen dam where there is a road, where your best access point is. Anything to the north of me here is just way too shallow. So, for the most part, this is looking pretty clear and too shallow, really. If there had been a car here, I think somebody would have spotted it by now, because at 8 foot deep, that's the deepest I've seen here. I think something would have turned up. We're at lake number 2 in the conservation area here, and we're just gonna so there's a lake that we're going to. It's a small lake. Doesn't look very deep, but sometimes looks can be deceiving. So I'm not gonna mess around here too much. I'm gonna get in here, get it scanned, and then move on to the next one. So we got 4 that we're allowed to kayak in here. So this is number 2. First one we hit, 8 foot deep, nothing. So there we go. All right, we're out here on lake number 2, and I've done my initial pass down through what was probably going to be the deepest water, which is along the earthen dam here. So you can't drive across this earthen dam right here, but there's no barriers or anything that would keep you from it at the same time. So that's why I went ahead and chose to do this one, because a person that would be motivated could actually drive through here and right off into the water. Surprisingly, now originally I said when I was on the bank, this doesn't look like it's going to get very deep, but out here I did hit 10 foot, which I didn't expect to hit anything more than 5. So just comes to show you that just looking at the surface of the water and the terrain around it can be misleading. That's why we always check. Always be thorough. This is basically all we're looking at. It's been this way the entire time. you get these muddy bottoms, and it's just smooth, so things stick out pretty easily. So I'm heading back towards the truck. Just gonna do 2 quick sweeps along this bank here and call this one good, because the rest of this area does not have, it's not accessible, really. It's 8 foot right here. I wonder if that extends out this way. Gotta be through. So 7 foot. I'm gonna just take a shot this way, because if somebody had a head of steam, float a car out that way. Check this out. I'm being attacked by spiders. There's one of them. Let's see if you can see it. And there was another one that took off down that way, but just floating through the air. This is our 4th location in this conservation area. One of the other lakes that we are allowed to put the kayak in on, just by driving around and looking at it, and looking at the access to the water with a vehicle, is not likely. All right, so on this lake here, I went down this way because there's a road that runs along this. Deepest I saw was like 5 foot. So nothing there, not really deep enough. 5 foot, a car could be under the water, but I think it would stick out like a sore thumb even at that depth. So I came over, hit over here, got over here towards the earthen dam. Now there isn't access to this dam that a small car could drive up, but a truck could. So I went ahead and checked it anyway. I saw nothing, so you know, I'm getting ready to head back. But I'll just show you my pattern here really quick. There's not much of it, and I just shows it went down along this edge, back and forth, never hit any more than 5 foot, and it was out here. It was the deepest that I got. So then it came along here, the earthen dam. It got, you know, right where I'm sitting here right now, it's 10 foot, but you know, a car would have to come off this here to get there, and you probably can't see it, too wide angle lens, but a regular car couldn't get to that. I'm gonna start heading in, pack up for the day, maybe go run around, check some other things out. But for the most part, here at the Reed Conservation Area, James Reed. James is a good name. I like that name. I didn't name my kids James. But I will say this about the James Reed Conservation Area here. Wow. Very well kept. Everything's nice, mowed. The water's clean. Don't see a lot of trash. Just looks like it's very well maintained, very well taken care of. So for all you in the Kansas City metro area, kind of a cool place to hang out. All kinds of trails. If you like to fish from the bank or put a kayak, there's got 4 lakes you can put a kayak in and go fishing that way. So anyway, highly recommended. I'm heading back towards shore here, and I'm going to call it a day. But we'll be out again soon. Eventually, we will hit that spot. We will have answers. Perseverance. One of the things I always go by is if you never give up, you never lose. Tried and true. Every single time. And to quote Marty Schottenheimer, find a way to win. Time to get back to work.